Right, here we go. Swag's in the back, fridge is full of beer, car's full of diesel. We're good to go. I'm heading towards Googs track, where hopefully, I've only just finished work, so it's 3:30 now. Hopefully, I can get onto the Googs track and get to Googs Lake and stay the night there and explore the rest of the Googs track tomorrow. But I've got a couple of days to get out of Ceduna and do a bit of exploring, so what better way to pack the car up, get on out of here, and have a look around. Anywho, an hour and 25 minutes to Googs Lake. That's what the maps is saying, so who knows what it could be. It could be longer, it could be shorter. We'll see how we go. I have heard rumours of people doing the whole Googs track in a day. I'm not planning on that. I plan on trying to get to Googs Lake before the sun sets and try and camp up there the night, have a fire and just kick back and relax. Anywho, let's get on with it. Let's get out of here, get onto the Googs track. So here we go. We have just turned onto turned off the main highway onto the Googs track road. I believe this turns into the Googs track. But there's a little bit of information here. How cool is that? The sun coming through the Googs track cutout there. That's pretty cool. But all the information you need to know on the Googs track, book online. You've got to pay for your camping in the Googs track. You've got to be really self-contained here. You've got to have water, food, everything really. It's completely remote. I believe there's no signal at all. So everyone knows where I'm going to be. I've got all that covered. I've got a little GPS system in there, so we're sorted. But do remember that if you come to the Googs track, this is seriously remote. But let's get on in. Alrighty, this is it. This is the start of the Googs track. So I just bumped into a fella that's coming out. He stayed at the lake last night, but he reckons it's a good hour and a half to get there. So I don't know if we're going to make it in time for the sunset, but is what it is, I guess. There we go. Got my trusty little tyre thingy-me-jig. So we'll let all the tyres down to around 18. I believe it said better to be safe than sorry. We'll drop them all down and then get on in there. And one thing I've got to do before I leave the Googs track entry is put dinner on. Look at that, straight from the butcher today. They look beautiful. We'll whack them in the little cooker. I did put the cooker on at the little info bay, so that's going to be nice and toasty. Hopefully dinner's going to be ready by the time we get to camp tonight. So coming through the first gate as we enter here, can't help but notice Wild Touring, Nick. Shout out to those guys. Might as well chuck our own little one on here. If you want one of them, check out jsadventure.com.au. Shout out to Cam, Wild Touring and Nick, legends. But let's get on with this. So working in the caravan park in Ceduna, we do talk to a lot of people that have done the Googs track or just come out to do the Googs track, and the majority of people seem to think it's really long, boring, monotonous and underwhelming. I don't know, I think it's great just being out in the middle of nowhere away from everyone and cruising around in the bush. I think that's great, but I don't think it's as remote as everyone makes it out to be. I mean, I've been to Kennedy Ranges, Mount Augustus, just off the top of my head. Those places are 10 times more remote than this. So yeah, I don't really know how I feel on it, what I'm going to take from it, but you can't go wrong when you're driving about in this. It's beautiful. The sun's setting, cruising around, there's no one else in sight. There's something about that, I reckon. Well, we are not far off the sun going down and my hopes of getting to camp before the sun went down and setting everything up and having a beer and watching the sunset. I sort of dashed, I think we've got about 20 k's to go, around half an hour, just over half an hour. So that's the best we're going to get, but like I say, there's nothing better than just cruising through here. The sun's going down, watching the birds flying around. It is a really nice drive. If I agree with that by the time I get out of here tomorrow, that's a different story. But so far, Googs track's turning it on for me. Well, just as we get the last light of the night, the evening star is up there. I thought I'd check on dinner and it is looking top notch. We have had a blowout here, but this one is looking really good. I think around 10 k's, 15 minutes to get to camp. So we're going to be eating in the dark. We're going to be setting everything up in the dark, and can't have everything on the car. When I got the tinny on the roof, we did lose all the side lights. So it's going to be fun tonight dealing with one of these as our only source of light. But yeah, is what it is. We'll get over it. Alrighty, I'm here in camp and at Googs Lake, and I think I've picked up a pretty good little site here, so we'll see how we go. It looks like it overlooks something. Hopefully it's the lake. Who knows? Can't really see a thing at night. It looks like a nice little flat spot with a lookout, so hopefully it's the Googs lookout. But anyway, I'm going to pick this up in the morning as the GoPros have a bit of a meltdown in low light. So all I've got to do is pretty much have dinner, roll the swag out. If I've got time, if I feel like it, put a fire on, but I just don't think that's going to happen. First step, definitely get the GoPro on a time lapse and get a beer in my hand because I am thirsty, and that has been a bloody great afternoon, so I'm pretty keen on a beer. Anywho, let's get into it. Well, one of them come out really good, the other not so much, but I'm pretty happy with that for dinner. But this is it. Swag's out, chair out, fire. Hopefully that is a nice view. Anyway, guys, cheers. We'll see you in the morning.
Well, there it is. There is the view of the morning, and can't complain one bit about that. Pretty average sleep, but I think that's just because I haven't been in a swag in a fair while. But how is that? Waking up to that, that is beautiful. Hopefully we got some coals left we can chuck the kettle on, but we'll get everything packed up and check out this lake. All right, packed up, coffeeed up. I guess we'll take a walk down to the lake, Googs Lake, have a little look around down there, and then I believe we've got to head back that way a bit to where there was another couple camping. There's a memorial there we'll check out before we head on out of here. But this is it, Googs Lake. Beautiful campground. Would have loved to have got here earlier, but just didn't happen. And plenty of tracks around as well, where animals have been knocking about. I noticed a heap of little tracks around the car last night. Don't know what they are, little scorpions or something. I'm no idea, but tiny little tracks. But there it is, Googs Lake. Plenty of flies, I'll give it that as well. Flies everywhere. Don't know what sort of tracks they are. They're definitely the kids. There might be a kangaroo or something. Emu, maybe? I reckon an emu. But what's really cool is you can see all these really old footprints here that have just stood the test of time, I think. On the salt lake, they've sort of come up instead of being indentations in the ground. But these are all footprints. There's some more. Well, here we are. I don't know what the island is called, but, oh, geez, flies. This is the island on Googs Lake, and I'm at the highest point. So hopefully this is going to compensate for not having the drone, or not allowed to fly the drone. But here we go, 360-degree views of Googs Lake, and 360 flies. They've come out right out in force. What a beaut spot. I don't know if I can handle these flies though. Right, let's get back to the car, which is all the way over there. Check out the memorial, and then keep on moving along the Googs track. So coming out of Googs Lake, I believe I found the memorial. Must have missed this coming in last night, but carry on that way is the Googs track, and down there is Googs Lake. But here is the memorial, the Denton family memorial. I believe this is a Dinger. There he is, Martin Dinger Denton, and also Goog Denton, SGJ Goog Denton. So a nice memorial for the family here, next to a money tree, or two money trees, where people have jammed in coins. But a really nice memorial here, and I believe, yeah, the shack, there was a shed here at one time. 1975, Goog and the family built a shack upon this site. I don't know what happened to it. It was dismantled in 1977, later replaced with this memorial and plaque. So there you go. Cool little stop, but let's keep on moving, heading towards Mount Finke, 78 kilometers. And I've left my window down in the car, so it's probably going to be full of flies. Also, if anyone wants a sticker, be quick. This is going to be a nightmare to get rid of them. All right, 4 hours down today, and I see what people mean with the repetitive. It is just constantly up, down, up, down, up, down. Nothing changes at all. The track, not too hard at all. It's there's some little boggy spots, but you cruise up over them. I think I'm averaging around 15 k's an hour, but there's nothing you can really do. I'd rather be comfortable in doing the track. But out there is Mount Finke. That is where we're heading. This is sort of my best view that I've had of it. I've had little glimpses here and there, but that is the best view so far. 30 odd k's to that, so probably another hour. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, but it's a beautiful old view. Just so repetitive, this track.
Well, probably about 10 k's before the turn off to Mount Finke, come across what looks to be the worst nightmare travelling on the road. By the looks of it, this car, I don't know what sort of car it is, has been burnt. I don't know, we'll get up there and have a look, but it's blocked off the track. There is another little side track that goes around over there we'll be able to take. But yeah, this is not exactly what you want. Middle of nowhere, no signal, no nothing. And having to leave your car here, or having to watch it burn as well. Oh, you're joking. Jeez. That's literally a worst nightmare thing. That happening. It looks like a bloody expensive canopy too. Expensive whole setup. 70 series ute. Dual angles. Jeez. Poor buggers. Oh, hello, mate. Is this your new car? Yeah, it was well and truly set up. Anyway, there's nothing you can do about it. Once it's happened, it's happened. As long as you're safe and sound. But yeah, spewing. Let's keep on moving, get around it. There it is. There is Mount Finke, and by the looks of it, there is a track heading somewhere, somewhat halfway up there. So we might just follow this track and see where it takes us. But I reckon it might go a little way up Mount Finke, and hopefully it's got a nice viewing point. So we'll get up there, wherever it takes us, and get lunch on. The terrain here as well has gone from the sand, pretty much sand the whole way along the Googs track, to rocky, almost shale-like. But it's yeah, a bit of welcome to change. Starting to get a bit over the sand. Well, here we go. We got about a quarter of the way up Mount Finke, and I believe Mount Finke's 361 metres high. Yeah, around a quarter of the way up, and it is windy up here. There is a little camp spot just down there, but I'm not going to stay the night there. I figure I'll try and get the Googs track completely finished, get off the Googs track and head towards the little ghost town of Tarcoola. Try and find a nice little camp spot, because you can camp pretty much anywhere there. It's out of the national park, so I think that's going to be the plan. Finish up the Googs track and get towards Tarcoola. But I have chucked dinner on. Sunday roast and a couple of pies there for lunch. By the time we get to camp, dinner will be ready. So let's get out of here. Mount Finke. People do actually climb it, but I really don't feel like climbing it today. Maybe another time. believe that is pretty much the Googs track done. That is the Transcontinental Railway line, I believe that is. But that is pretty much all done, Googs. There we go, we are done. Googs track is done.
All right, look at that. Just as I pull up, bloody train comes past.
But this is the Googs track all done.
There it is, as marked by end. All I gotta do now
Is try and find a camp spot. There was a camp spot back about 2 or 3 Ks, which I'm probably gonna head
back that way because it does overlook the railway line.
and if we can get another train come through in the night, or even some lights during the night, that'd be pretty cool to see. So let's do that.
Head back on the Googs track 1 or 2 Ks
And find this little camp spot.
Well, there goes that sun, and this is camp for the night.
I would have loved to have been back up the hill up there overlooking the railway, but I just couldn't find a flat spot without any rocks or ants.
And this is going to be the next best bet. But
cheers for watching. Cheers for joining me on my, I guess, my little trip through Googs track. As for Googs track, tough one. Do I recommend it? It's a beautiful track, don't get me wrong. It's just very long. I'd love to do it again and actually take my time and spend 3 or 4 days doing it. Maybe stay a night at Mount Finke and watch the sunset over the mountain. But it's just so long, so repetitive. It's all the same stuff. Until you get to probably Mount Finke, where it turns into sort of like Pilbara country. It's a little bit of a weird spot, this one. And it's not as remote as people think it is. I compare it to Mount Kennedy, or Mount Augustus, sorry, and Kennedy Ranges in WA, and that is a lot more remote than this is. But still, it is a good spot, a beautiful spot, and when you have a sunset like that,
and you kick back with a beer around the fire, it makes it all worth it.
And I will get some comments as well on not having a sand flag on the car. Yes, I know.
It's not mandatory, but
you still should have it. I just couldn't get a hold of one Saturday afternoon. Everything in Sejuna is shut. Sunday, I didn't want to push it and wait until Monday because everything's shut on Sunday as well. So pretty much cruised through there around 10 kilometres an hour. I think that was the average speed the whole way through. So you're not going to have any problems there, just cruising through. But anywho, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one, where hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be leaving here, this little camp spot,
and heading towards Tarcoola,
an abandoned, I think it's a ghost town, I'm not too sure. Something on Wikicamp says there's people still living there, but we're going to be heading there in the next episode and then slowly making our way towards Adelaide. Anywho, cheers for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Rightio, here we go. We've got the swag in the back. I've got a fridge full of beer. Oh, what's happened there? People that have done, or